The Jasper Utility Board continues discussions about ongoing issues at Beaver Lake. We'll have more on where things stand, plus Carrie Schneider is back with our friends from the Du Bois County Humane Society, and Jasper Chamber Director Nancy Eckerly talks about the upcoming Jasper Chamber Dinner tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with the arrest of a Huntingburg man after an investigation into allegations of child molestation. Back in August, Huntingburg police opened an investigation into allegations that 24-year-old Francisco Perez of Huntingburg had molested a girl younger than 14, starting in December of last year and continuing through April of this year. The initial complaint came to the Du Bois County Department of Child and Family Services, and they worked with the police detective in this investigation. Police interviewed Perez back on October 9th, and a warrant was issued for his arrest yesterday through Du Bois County Circuit Court. Perez was taken into custody at 1:15 p.m. at his apartment in the Lincoln Village apartment complex without incident. Perez was lodged in the Du Bois County Security Center, and he is facing a Class A felony count for child molestation. Residents along an area lake may soon see a change in the lake's water levels. Last night, the Jasper Utility Service Board formally approved a recommendation from the Water Committee to explore options for raising the water level at Beaver Lake. Several residents have expressed concern since the new spillway was completed last year at the lower level of the lake. Water Committee members and about 20 owners of lots at the city-owned lake east of Jasper gathered at a meeting last Thursday morning at City Hall that featured Evansville-based Morley & Associates Managing Project Engineer Lee McClellan. McClellan provided a report that outlined how the lake's water level before a new spillway was installed last year was actually higher than it should have been because the channel that was there kept the water from flowing through as it should. McClellan pointed out that with the new spillway and the fact that the channel was taken out, the water level is now where it should have been the entire time, though it is lower than what residents are used to. Jasper Utility Board Chairman Wayne Sheeter says though the lower water level has caused problems for residents, the Utility Board is looking at things from a water supply perspective for the city.
When construction of the new spillway was finished and the level's lower, we know that is an inconvenience and a safety issue for the people out there. But as a backup water supply, should we look at raising it to give us more water? And so that's one of the reasons we're going to take a look at raising it to make sure we've got as much water in there as we possibly can without spending a great deal of money to make any changes on the dam and so forth. So we'll just have to see. So that's the first thing we're looking at.
Another option being considered, according to Sheeter, is to create a second pool of water for backup by adding a second dam downstream from the current one on the Patoka River. Ultimately, Sheeter says the priority is to make sure that there is enough water available for residents in the event of a drought such as the one that occurred last summer.
Jasper has grown significantly over the last 100 years since they started pulling water out, and Beaver was added as a backup. You know, we've not really had major issues with water until last summer, when several things came together. But part of our responsibility as utility to our customers is to make sure that if we get in that situation, we have enough water for backup. And so that is why I think now is a good time with the issues at Beaver Lake, the issue of Beaver Lake being our backup water supply, not just now but in the future, to make sure it has as much water in it as it could possibly have.
In other business last night, the board formally approved the 2014 salary ordinance for utility employees. The new ordinance reflects several changes in positions made by the board earlier this year, with the retirements of several longtime utility employees in the city. Additionally, the board held discussions about issues surrounding the Jasper Clean Energy Project. The board also approved moving forward with an electric rate study to be done by Umball and Associates at a cost not to exceed $15,000. Bids were opened last night for a sewer relining project to take place in the city, and the board approved moving forward with a bid from Missouri-based In Situ Form Technologies LLC for a total cost of $26,316 or $204 per linear foot. 2 bids were returned out of the 3 that were requested by the board, according to Utilities General Manager Bud Hauersperger. In final notes from last night's meeting, Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz addressed the utility board concerning jobs in the area. Seitz stated that across Jasper, Huntingburg, and Ferdinand utilities, there were about 1,000 jobs available, and there is a need to recruit workforce in order to fill those jobs. Seitz stated further that other counties are looking for jobs to put people in rather than already having the jobs, as Du Bois County does. Finally this evening, a local police department has recently added 2 more officers to its patrol force. Earlier this month, with the approval of the Jasper Board of Public Works, the Jasper Police Department extended offers of conditional employment to 22-year-old Dakota Foote and 23-year-old Grant Goffenay to serve as patrol officers for the department. Foote, a native of New Haven, is a graduate of Ball State University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He is also a member of the Indiana National Guard, where he attended Officers Candidate School and is commissioned as a second lieutenant. Goffenay, a 2008 graduate of Perry Central High School, attended the University of Southern Indiana at Evansville and has lived in Jasper for the last several years. The offers of employment come on the heels of the recent appointments of Officers Greg Brescher and David Berger, who were sworn in last week and are now undergoing field training. These moves also put the Jasper Police Department at full force with 21 officers. Chief Mike Bennett says it's important and pleasing to see that the department is back at full staff.
We are pleased to finally get back to where it was when I took over. And the officers that are working now have been working long, hired hours, shorthanded. And so it'll be nice to give them some relief also, to get some more bodies on the street, so to speak, and give the guys that's really been doing a tremendous job a little break.
Currently, Foote and Goffenay are in the process of being officially appointed by the city. In the meantime, the new officers are required to undergo medical, physical, and psychological evaluations and to be accepted into the Public Employees Retirement Fund. Once those and other basic training requirements are met, their appointments will become official. The 2 positions became vacant with the recent resignation of Officer Alan Foy and the retirement of longtime patrolman Danny Collins. Coming up after the break, Carrie is back with our friends from the Du Bois County Humane Society, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring Jasper Chamber Director Nancy Eckerly. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.